What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to SMITE Meta Casual News. In today's episode, really good news for the noodle. We also take a look at the brand new Bacchus card, and then we dedicate the rest of the episode discussing the Odin rework. All that and a little bit more. Once again, my name is FG3000, you're you, and here comes the news. First up in news, just a sigh of relief. Ao Kwang, who we all know is going to be remodeled some patch in the future. We don't know exactly when it will be, but we do know as of today, his voice pack will not be changed. And this is great news. I know there are tons and tons of people that the only reason why they bought that voice pack was because of celebration, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. So really good news that that will not be changed. So we will get a new model, we might even get new abilities, but at least we know that the voice pack that we all know and love is staying the same. That's very good news. Also, Hi-Res teased the character card for the upcoming Elvis Bacchus skin that we voted on a few months back. Looks like progress is going pretty well on it, and I fully anticipate this skin will be in this week's patch. Will it have an extra voice pack? I almost guarantee that this is going to have a special voice pack. What an opportunity to waste if it didn't. So definitely looking forward to that. And that's going to do it for the news as far as skins and voice packs and all that good stuff. Let's talk about Odin. Now, before we can talk about what we've seen today, let's talk about where Odin came from. So if you're not familiar, Odin was a really high profile pick in tournaments. He had a ton of built-in passives on all of his abilities. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he had like built-in HP 5, built-in protections, all kinds of things, movement speed increases, all kinds of things on his kit. Very bloated kit. So what Hi-Res did a few months back was basically purge all of the warriors from the game. I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean. So they did a lot of nerfs on all of the warriors in the game. Odin was hit very hard because a lot of his kit relied on all of those passive protections within his abilities. Most of those were stripped. Odin fell off very hard. Most people might argue that he's probably one of the worst gods in the game, right down there with Guan Yu. So that's where Odin came from. A few weeks ago, I spoke to Hi-Res Chris, and he said that the reason why it's hard to balance Odin is because his abilities, his leap, his 3, his 2, which is a attack speed steroid, they're really hard to balance because if you up the numbers too much, he becomes really broken. So they figured that they needed to do a rework, and today this is what we have. This is the reworked Odin. So I use the term rework loosely because his 1, which is his leap, remains unchanged, and his 3 also remains unchanged. It's an AoE damage slow, very good ability, very meaty. It feels good when you use it. So I'm glad they kept those 2 abilities the same because they're pretty iconic Odin abilities at this stage of Smite's life cycle. So what did they change? So let's start with what his ultimate does on the live server. So he plops down the ring, enemies can't get in, enemies can't get out. Your teammates can't get in, your teammates can't get out. And if Odin wants to get out, he either has to deactivate the ultimate or jump or blink out. That's the only way you can do it. While Odin is inside the ring, he has CC immunity. Also, enemies from outside the ring can't auto attack you, Uller can't throw a hammer at you, etc. So that is how the ultimate works on the live servers. Now, what has changed on the rework Odin is that, sure, the enemies are the same. They can't get in, they can't get out. Your teammates can go in and out now, which is the biggest change. Also, enemies can now auto attack you while you're inside the ring. They can also do abilities, like I said, Uller's hammer can now go through the rings and stun you. You can be impaled, etc. So that is a fundamental change. Also, they took away his CC immunity. So now you can pop your rings, be stunned, be probably the duration, be slowed, be knocked up, and waste your rings, which doesn't sound like a very good change. But hear me out and let me finish my thought on this. So this is what I think based off of just seeing the video, not actually playing Odin in game. I don't think they want Odin to be the one-on-one guy anymore, right? On the live servers, since he blocks out his teammates, there's a lot of instances where he goes in there by himself to finish off a kill or to kill someone. That is why he had CC immunity on that. Now I think that Hi-Rez wants this to be a team fight based ultimate, where you pop down your ring, you get about 2 or 3 people inside the ring, your teammates also come in. Since they're inside the ring, they benefit from having a healing debuff on their enemies, as well as an auto attack speed decrease on the enemies. So they're stronger inside the ring. They can leave if the battle becomes a little too much for them. And if they get kills inside the ring, they provide Odin with stacks. I think this is what they want to do with the ultimate. They want it to be a more team fight friendly ultimate that you can use in almost every situation. There's not going to be a bad situation in that. What that does though, however, if you're one of those players that like to, throw the rings down and be like, you, me, 1-on-1, I think that gameplay style is gone. But it really depends on how good his number 2 is. So his number 2 is an interesting ability. It is a shield / explosive shield. So he pops his shield. It's on a short timer. Once the timer expires, the shield blows up. However, if someone is attacking you while your shield is up and they deplete these shields, if they do all the damage to the shield and destroy it, it doesn't blow up for damage. So what does this do? So it puts Odin in a couple of different scenarios. So what you can do is you can prime the shield early, jump into the fight, which guarantees the damage, or you can jump into the fight with your shield and people are going to be forced to attack you, or they're going to take AoE splash damage. So this is a good way to be more defensive. You jump in, you pop your shield, you want people to attack you and destroy your shield so they don't get hit by the AoE splash, and if they don't, they still get hit by a little bit of damage. It's based off of how much life is left on the shield itself. So it's a couple of different scenarios. Depending on how strong it is going to dictate if the one-on-one Odin ring playstyle is going to be dead or not. I really think that Hi-Rez wants his playstyle to be more team focused. Everybody jump in the ring with me, let's throw down, that kind of thing. Now, since his ultimate is pretty much the same, his 3 is pretty much the same, his 1 is the same, the only thing that has dramatically changed was his 2, which is that shield I spoke of. I think that it changes his playstyle. It's cool, it's unique, but man, that, my friends, is what you call a nerf, because this 2 was basically a tower shredder, a phoenix shredder, an objective shredder. You popped your 2, you had like a Mercury on your team or a Neith or whatever. You pop your 2 on any objective, that thing is done. Which raises my point. I think Hi-Rez no longer likes that playstyle in Smite. We saw it a few months ago, or a few patches ago, where they got rid of Fake Wa, whatever her name is. They nerfed New Wa's ability to shred towers. Now they're doing the same thing with Odin. Who knows? Is Mercury next? He's the other god in the game that can shred towers very fast. I don't know, but I think it's clear that Hi-Rez doesn't like that playstyle of being able to destroy objectives in a quick manner, the way that New Wa and Odin were able to do. So that could be a thing, but that's pretty much all we know on the Odin remodel, or remake, I'm sorry, not a remodel, just a rework. Can't wait to see what the patch notes look like on Friday. Also, check out that brand new UI. Looking good, Hi-Rez, once again. My name is FG3000. This has been SMITE Meta Casual News. You have been you. And that, my friends, was the news. I will see you tomorrow, pretty much the same time. We got to talk about Arachne. I am looking forward to her rework. Whoo, I'm hype. We'll see you then. Later.